Hello everyone, welcome to Mascot Concepts, the series where I create mascots for teams that don't have one. Today for episode 7, I will be creating mascots for the MLB team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The LA Dodgers is one out of the 3 teams in the MLB that doesn't have a mascot, but that's going to change today as I've created 3 different concepts for a Dodgers mascot. So without further ado, let's get started. And by the way, I know the Dodgers do have these guys that they use as mascots, but they're technically not the official team mascots. I'm creating mascots that will officially be the team mascot. Before I share my first mascot concept, I should explain how I come up with the mascots for teams that don't have one. I usually think of the team itself. For example, I think back to their history and do a little bit of research into what would represent them best. I also think of where they play at, that being the state or city, as well as merchandise, since some of these teams use a fake mascot in some merchandise. So with all that information out of the way, here's the first mascot concept for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the first mascot concept I've created is a pretty interesting choice, but it's still creative, that being a dog. Now what does a dog have to do with the Dodgers? Well, nothing really. But the Dodgers do have a day where you can bring dogs to the ballpark. It's called Pups at the Park. Also, they sell hot dogs referred to as Dodger dogs. And that made me think a dog would be a great choice for a mascot. So with all that out of the way, here's the first design. This is my design of a dog Dodgers mascot. And as for a name, I'm actually going to stick with the name Dodger Dog. Now at first glance he might look like a fat version of Blue's Clues, but he's way more than that. He has a normal dog face with a large white muzzle and short blue ears. He's got a little bit of white hair just under his hat, and there's one large white spot over one of his eyes, and if you look closely it's shaped like the letter D. His body is large, furry, and blue, complete with a large tail, white belly fur, and white paws. His shoes are nothing too special other than being mascot-sized. And of course I won't talk too much about the uniform as it's just the normal Dodgers uniform. Overall, this is a pretty interesting but creative choice. I'm actually quite surprised to learn that there are no dog mascots in the MLB. I had always thought that since dogs are commonly paired up with baseball, there would be at least one, but there isn't. But now let's say the Dodgers want something that's not as common as a dog. Something that other sports teams don't use too often. Well, here's a mascot for that. Now this next mascot I created may sound a little strange, but when I explain it'll make sense. That being a koala. Now what does a koala have to do with the Dodgers? Well, dating back to the 1980s, the Dodgers actually used a koala on some merchandise. And even today, koalas are often associated with the team. I'm not sure why, though. But with all that out of the way, here's the design. So here's my koala design. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a name, so I'm going to ask you guys to come up with a name in the comment section for him. I basically just used the original design seen on merch, but made a few changes. He's got giant round ears, a round black nose, and eyes that make him look like he came straight out of Winnie the Pooh. The body is nothing too special. I did change some things, like I added white on the hands, belly, and feet. The original design had these weird diaper short things. I didn't like that, so I took them off. And lastly, he's got a small little koala tail. Overall, I do like a koala being their mascot, as it is actually something that relates to the team. But now let's say the Dodgers want to move on from the koala and go for something that's still related to the team, but different. Well, here's the perfect mascot for that. The last mascot I created is a pretty weird choice, but it's a choice that I couldn't pass on doing. And that's a robin. Now what does a robin have to do with the Dodgers? Well, Jackie Robinson, of course. He is one of the most iconic baseball players of all time, being the first African-American MLB baseball player. so why not honor him with a mascot based on his likeness? So with all that out of the way, here's the design. Here's the design for the Robin. And for a name, I'm just going to call him either Jack, Jackie, or Robinson. There's really nothing too noteworthy about his design. It's really just a Robin wearing a Dodgers uniform. He's got a black head with a yellow beak and orange on the bottom of the head. The wings are mostly gray, but the gloves are orange, as are the upper parts of the arms. He's also got a black tail and big yellow feet. And before anyone asks, I didn't give this mascot Jackie Robinson's real baseball number 42, since that number is retired by the league. Overall, a Robin is a great choice for the Dodgers mascot considering who he's based off of. There is one problem with having a Robin as the Dodgers mascot. That problem is there's already way too many bird mascots in the MLB, and I don't think there needs to be another one. But it's still a good choice. And on that note, this concludes my Los Angeles Dodgers Mascot Concepts. And there you have it, mascot concepts for the MLB's Los Angeles Dodgers. I know that some Dodgers fans may not actually want a mascot, and I can respect that, but don't get mad at me, this video's just for fun. However, if anyone working for the Los Angeles Dodgers is watching this, please consider getting a team mascot. It'll definitely help you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next month on Mascot Concepts Season 2. Bye-bye.